100 years ago, if you wanted to know whether your butter was fake, there was a match and paper trick for it. If your horse suddenly bolted in the street, there was a move to stop it in seconds. None of this is in your history textbook because it wasn't written by historians. It was written by ordinary people just trying to survive their own century. Stick around because number 1 is the one that still gets used by professionals today, and almost nobody knows where it came from. These aren't legends or TikTok myths. They're real tricks pulled from old cigarette cards, forgotten household manuals, and diaries of people history barely remembers. Let's start with the strangest one. In the early 1900s, tobacco companies used to slip small instructional cards into cigarette packs, the life hacks of their day. One of them solved a real problem. Margarine was newly invented and often sold as butter. The trick was simple. Smear a little on paper and set it alight. Real butter burned with a mild, pleasant smell. Margarine gave off a greasy, tallow-like odor that gave it away instantly. That's a mild one. The next hack was standard advice for something a lot more dangerous than fake butter. Runaway horses were a genuine daily hazard before cars took over. Those same cigarette cards taught people a specific technique. Instead of grabbing at the reins from the front, you'd move alongside and use your body weight against the horse's shoulder to gradually redirect it off balance, slowing it without triggering more panic. It's a technique horse handlers still recognize today. If people back then could improvise a way to stop a bolting horse, you can imagine what they did when their house caught fire, and it's smarter than you'd think. Before every home had a fire extinguisher, households were taught to keep a mixture on hand, often salt or bicarbonate, dissolved in water, stored in a sealed bottle that could be thrown directly onto a small kitchen fire to smother it fast. It wasn't as reliable as a modern extinguisher, but it meant the difference between a scare and a disaster for thousands of homes. That one was about surviving an emergency. This next one was about surviving something a lot slower, boredom, and getting real work done. Long before productivity apps, the Greek orator Demosthenes had a problem. He kept leaving his house instead of writing. His solution was drastic. He shaved off half his hair. Too embarrassed to be seen in public like that, he had no choice but to stay home and finish his work. It's one of history's earliest recorded commitment devices, removing your own ability to procrastinate. That one's extreme. The next hack was something almost every Victorian household quietly relied on when someone got sick, and it sounds strange today. Instead of throwing away stale, overly toasted bread, Victorians would steep it in hot water the way you'd steep tea. Let it cool, then strain out the toast. What was left, toast water, was routinely given to people who were unwell, valued as something gentle and easy on the stomach in an era before modern rehydration drinks existed. Simple, almost too simple. But hack number 2 is the one that quietly built an entire industry that still exists today. Long before dedicated flame retardant sprays or slime kits existed, households kept a box of borax on hand for almost everything: cleaning, laundry, even as a rough flame retardant on fabric. It's a naturally occurring mineral, and its all-purpose reputation is exactly why it became a pantry staple for generations, long before multi-purpose was a marketing word. This is the one still used by high performers today, and almost nobody realizes how far back it goes. Long before planners or productivity apps, figures like Benjamin Franklin, Beethoven, Leonardo da Vinci, and Charles Darwin all kept handwritten daily lists, tracking tasks, goals, even their own character development. It wasn't about the paper. It was about forcing focus in an era with just as many distractions as ours, just different ones. So the fake butter test and the Franklin to-do list came from completely different worlds, but both were solving the exact same problem people still have today: not enough time and not enough certainty. If one of these surprised you, comment which number you'd actually try. I read every one. And if you want the next video to be forgotten hacks from a specific era, Victorian, wartime, or ancient, tell me in the comments and I'll build the next list from that.